Dear students, we are studying about interconversion of states of matter. We studied about the interconversion of solid and liquid in the previous session. Today we are going to discuss some other process in which interconversion of states of matter take place. Third process we have condensation. So in the previous session we studied about melting and boiling. So in that case we have seen melting involves the conversion of solid to liquid and boiling involves the conversion of liquid to gas. Now next process is condensation. Condensation. So during condensation what changes take place? In which a gas changes into liquid by cooling. So we have studied about boiling. That is, during boiling, liquid changes into gas by heating. This is boiling. Now, what do you mean by condensation? In condensation, gas converts into liquid state. What is the condition here? By cooling. That means decreasing the temperature. So that means during condensation what happens? The gas changes into liquid. So we have to cool the gas, or we have to decrease the temperature of the gas. So if you cool the gas or decrease the temperature of the gas, slowly the gas particles come close together and arrange in the form of liquid state. This process is called condensation. So the condition for condensation is decrease in temperature, in other words cooling. Now what are the examples of condensation? We will discuss some common examples. First one, formation of morning dew on leaves and grass. So the dew drops, so you might have seen the dew drops, morning dew drops on leaves and grass. This dew drops actually formed by the process of condensation. So we can see that these dew drops, they are in the form of liquid. So what happens actually? So during night, what happens? The cool air which contains water vapor. So air contains water vapor, and we know that water vapor means it's a gas, vapors, and this water vapor they condenses during night, because during night the temperature decreases. Because of the cool air, the water vapor present in the air converts into the form of liquid. This liquid form is the dew drop or morning dew. So this is an example of condensation. So the water vapor present in the air condenses to form liquid dew drops. So it is an example of condensation. Second example of condensation, the mirror in the bathroom during a shower becomes foggy. So we have experienced this in our day-to-day life, especially after hot water bath. You might have seen the mirror of the bathroom becomes foggy like this. Have you seen this phenomenon? So this is also an example of condensation. So what happens? So during hot water bath, the water vapor will be very warm. The warm water vapor, when they touch the cooling surface of the mirror, they condense and form liquid. So when we take the hot water bath, there will be warm water vapor. And when this warm water vapor touches the mirror, we know that the mirror surface is very cold compared to the temperature of the water vapor. So when they touch the cold mirror surface, that is decrease, cooling takes place, decrease in temperature takes place. As a result, the water vapor will become the form of liquid. Because of this liquid, the mirror appears foggy, like fog. So this phenomenon is another example of condensation. Next process is freezing or solidification. Freezing or solidification. So during freezing, a liquid changes into solid by cooling. So here the condition again cooling, that is decrease in the temperature. So the conversion of liquid to solid by cooling is called freezing. Freezing is also called solidification. That is, suppose we have the liquid, and if you cool the liquid, that is, if you decrease the temperature of the liquid, after some time at a constant temperature, you will see that the liquid converts into the form of corresponding solid. This process is called freezing or solidification. Example, we can say changing of water into ice. For example, if you take water in refrigerator, keep the water bottle in the refrigerator, after some time the water becomes ice. So it is an example of freezing, because water is in the liquid state and ice is in the solid state. The conversion of liquid to solid by cooling is called freezing. So we can conclude that the today's two processes we have studied, freezing and condensation. Freezing and condensation both takes place by cooling, that is by decreasing the temperature of the substance. But boiling and melting, they take place by heating, that is increase in the temperature of the substance. Now one more term related to freezing, this freezing point. We studied about melting point and boiling point in the previous class. Similarly, what will be freezing point? The temperature at which liquid converts into solid by cooling is called freezing point. That means when you cool the liquid at a constant temperature, this liquid will become solid. For example, the freezing point of water is 0 degrees Celsius. So when you keep the water bottle in the refrigerator, the conversion of water to ice takes place at 0 degree Celsius. So just like melting point and boiling point, freezing point is also constant. The freezing point of the liquid is constant. Different liquids have different freezing points. Then another important point related to freezing point is that we can find a relationship between freezing point and melting point. That is, the numerical value of freezing point and melting point is same. So if you consider the same forms of liquid and solid, then the melting point of the solid and the freezing point of the liquid will be same. For example, we can see that melting point of ice. So we have seen ice converts into water. This is melting, and the melting point of ice 0 degrees Celsius. In other words, ice melts at 0 degrees Celsius. Similarly, conversion of water to ice. This is what? Freezing. And the freezing point of water is 0 degrees Celsius. In other words, water converts into ice at 0 degrees Celsius. Here we can see that 0 degrees Celsius is same. That's why the freezing point of the liquid and the melting point of the solid will be same. The numerical value of the melting point of solid and freezing point of liquid will be same. So we can write melting point of ice and freezing point of water, same value, same numerical value, both take place at 0 degree Celsius. So this is only for the same form of liquid and solid. So this is the relation between the freezing point and melting point. Fifth process, sublimation. So this is the fifth process we are discussing, that is the change of state of matter by change in temperature. That is, when you change the temperature of the substance, which are the different processes take place. We have studied melting, boiling, condensation, freezing. Next one, sublimation. So sublimation, so we have the definition, changing of a solid directly into gas on heating is called sublimation. Here the condition is heating, that is increase in temperature. So when you heat some solids, they directly convert into the form of gas. So we studied about melting. In melting we have seen that when you heat the solid changes into liquid. This is called melting. But there are some solids, they do not undergo melting. That means when we heat them, when they get sufficient heat, they will not become liquid state. Instead of that, they will directly convert into gas or vapor. This process is called sublimation. See the figure. So these are the some solids, and these solids, see, when they get heat, they convert into gas. So they directly converts into gas without converting into liquid state. So this is not for happening in the case of every solid. For example, when you heat the iron metal, we will get the liquid form of iron. Iron will not undergo sublimation. But there are some solids, they undergo this process. What? They directly converts into the form of vapor or gas without changing into liquid state. This process is called sublimation. We will see which are the different solids which show this process. So there are some solids like naphthalene, camphor, iodine, ammonium chloride, etc. show sublimation. So these solids directly change into heat. That is, when they get sufficient heat, maybe by at normal temperature or by external heating, they can directly change into the form of vapor or gas. So we have the example naphthalene. So naphthalene, this is naphthalene. It's a white color solid which when we heat it, it converts into gas. Similarly, camphor also undergoes sublimation. Then iodine, this is iodine. Next one, ammonium chloride. So all these are the solids or substances which undergo sublimation. It means that they directly converts into the form of gas without converting into the liquid state. Then we will see an example of sublimation in your day-to-day life. So you might have seen the naphthalene balls which are available in the shops. So in the shops it is available in the name of mothball. So you will get mothballs from the shops. Have you seen the mothballs? So actually mothballs are chemically, they are naphthalene. So these mothballs are actually chemically, they are naphthalene balls, and we know that naphthalene undergoes sublimation. So what is the use of these mothballs? So we will keep these mothballs with clothes and documents, etc., to protect it from insects. So when you keep this mothballs or naphthalene balls with the cloths, we can see that it prevents the contact of insects and moths. So that's why it is called mothballs. So what is the significance of mothballs in this scenario? So we know that the mothballs or naphthalene balls undergo sublimation. So what is the use here? Naphthalene balls undergo sublimation. It changes into gas or vapor without changing into liquid, and its vapor prevent the insects to come. So we know that this naphthalene can change into the form of vapor. So at normal temperature itself, naphthalene balls can undergo sublimation. It does not require extra heating. At normal temperature, it can undergo sublimation. As a result, it will form vapor or gas. So due to the formation of the gas or vapor, what happens? The insects will not come with the clothes. So we can prevent the contact of insects and moths. Because of the formation of vapor from the mothballs, insects will not attack the documents or cloths. That's why we use mothballs or naphthalene balls with cloths and documents to protect from moths and insects. Then next process is deposition. So deposition, we can see that it is opposite of sublimation, that is, in which gas directly changes into solid. In some situations, what happens, the gas, when they cool, here the condition is cooling, so when you cool the gas, it directly changes into solid without converting into liquid state. This process is called deposition. So it is an opposite process of sublimation. When you cool the gas or vapors of some substances, it directly changes into solid form. This process is called deposition. An example of this, frost. Formation of frost on leaves and windows and on the ground. It is an example of frost. So you have seen this frost formed on windows and other substances. So frost means actually it is a thin layer of ice. So frost, thin layer of ice, means it is in solid state, solid form. So from where it forms? From the water vapor. So water vapor which are present in the atmosphere, water vapor in the form of gas. So when cool, due to the cooling, what happens, sometimes this water vapor present in the atmosphere directly changes into the form of solid. The solid form, that is this thin layer of ice, is called frost. So it is an example of deposition. So we studied 6 processes: melting, boiling, then condensation, freezing, sublimation, and the last one, deposition. So these are the different processes. They take place by change in the temperature. That is, when you change the temperature or increase or decrease the temperature of the substance, these processes can be take place, and these processes are called interconversion of state of matter. That is,